LINKTREE, Apologist Live. I'm your host, Vocab Malone. Tonight is Sunday, September 26, 2021, about 7:45. Getting started a little bit late here, about 15 minutes, but welcome. This is a show where we serve the underserved and look into the overlooked. Hopefully I'll be having a guest join me today, and we're going to be talking about the ISUPK Hebrew Israelites at the border to help with the Haitian refugee crisis going down our Texas border. Very interesting discussion. You'll learn a lot, and stick with us. Let's go. Okay, well, we don't have Kdub yet, but he's coming. That's the blank space, just waiting for him. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at a news story directly related to today's show, and while everyone's coming in, I want you to go ahead, please, and please grab this link, share it, right, and make sure you hit the like button. It's the same type of thing. I know it's Facebook, not YouTube, but it actually still helps. So you're going to find today's show, I think, very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I already got the news story up. Let's get right into it, and I got the space reserved for Brother Kdub when he decides to jump in. So here we are, Breitbart. They're not the only people that covered it, but they are one of the people that covered it. And I'm going to read you the article, and then we're going to play some video, and you're going to get some commentary on it. Shout out to the live chat coming in. Paul Wahid, Dean who holding it down, Jonathan Crocker, what's up? Andrea, and Nate2D2. We got some of my favorite people in here. Praise God. Black extremist group appears at Texas border bridge camp with food for migrants. Not a bad headline as far as headlines go, right? I mean, you got the extremist part of there, but food for migrants, all right? I mean, a lot worse things you could be in the news for. And this is written by Randy Clark, and looks like he also took the pictures, perhaps. And here's an example of ISUPK. This is right at the border, it appears. And this is where the cover image came from. So you can see where it came from. This is a news story there. And let's go down a little bit. Of course, they have the fringes and the distinctive ISUPK headbands, as well as the Star of David. And something that appears to be new that I've noticed in this is fur. It looks like fur is becoming part, or was part and becoming part again, of the ISUPK wardrobe. Not sure, but that's all good. He is joining. He is here. My main man, Kdub. I'm bringing you on in, brother. Boom, ba-boom, boom, boom. All right, great to have you on the show, my man. And let me zoom out just a tad.
Good to be here.
You're tad close. Can I zoom in out on you? Let me just make you a little bit farther away. Oh, that's probably too far. All right, you're about good. There we go. All right, man. Thanks for joining, Kdub. Let's read this story together, and then we'll give you your information later on, of course. Tell people how to find you, my friend. Del Rio, Texas. Self-described members of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, ISUPK, appeared at the Del Rio Migrant Bridge Camp ahead of what they say is a larger convoy representing the group. On Wednesday, they were turned away by Border Patrol personnel guarding the perimeter of the site. The members claimed they were attempting to deliver provisions to migrants. The ISUPK is considered an extremist group by the ADL and the SPLC, among others. Let me stop right there real quick and say, it says, because it's the news, I guess, it says they claimed that they had something. In one of the videos I'm going to show, it appears they did have something. And it appears there really was a convoy. We got some video of it, so you're going to see, which, to be honest, to a certain extent, knowing certain things about UPK, I was somewhat surprised by. But it's interesting to see Breitbart, clearly a conservative news outlet, quoting the ADL, but especially the SPLC as authorities, knowing what they know about them. But, it is what it is. Breitbart, Texas, spoke to members of the group outside the gates to the camp that once held nearly 15,000, mostly Haitian migrants. That total now stands at less than 7,000 amid a nonstop effort to reduce the population with removal flights to the Caribbean and other means. The ISUPK members told Breitbart, Texas, this is a funny thing to think about Breitbart in any context speaking to ISUPK. They were turned away by guards but are determined to reach the campers, even if it meant traveling to Mexico first to deliver the supplies. And again, when I first read this, I said, I doubt they're going to make that trek. But we're going to have some video later that it shows that apparently they did. One member said they represent a faction based in Houston, Texas, but they are nationally headquartered in Harlem. Interesting. I have dealt specifically with this ISUPK camp. There are multiple videos of me versus various ISUPK Houston gentlemen, and some are pretty wild, but other ones are not as bad as you might think. So I know some of the people they're talking about. In fact, I recognize some of the men in the video from my face-to-face encounters. SPLC describes the ISUPK in part. The Black Hebrew Israelite hate group, listed by the SPLC, believe in ideas of black supremacy and bigotry against Caucasians, Jews, and members of the LGBTQ community. They believe that as members of the 12 tribes of Israel, consisting only of African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they are God's chosen people. Jews are considered imposters. Caucasians and members of the LGBT community are deemed devils. Extreme Black Hebrew Israelites believe that individuals outside the movement are deserving of slavery or death. The most numerous of the BHI groups in the United States are under the banners of Israel United of Christ, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and Great Millstone. GMS makes a cameo in a Breitbart article. What do you think of this so far there, Kdub? I know you're just jumping on, bro, but we're reading through this. It's interesting, isn't it?
I think it's funny how they say extreme Black Hebrew Israelites believe. That's literally majority of Black Hebrew Israelites believe
all
that.
one Westers anyway,
Right.
at least, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, since you're on the mic for a little bit, tell people who you are, and while you're doing that, give some introductory commentary on this, because I still need to download. I told you I was running a little bit late. There's a couple of these videos I still need to download so I can play them directly from our player. Buy me some time. Go ahead, my friend.
Absolutely. I think most of you guys know me. Kdub. I'm an apologist. I see Nate drop my YouTube link in there, so you can follow me there if you're interested on apologetics. I try to do apologetics in many areas.
Sorry. I messed up. Let me here. Let me make us. All right, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yes. I try to do apologetics in many areas: atheism, Roman Catholicism, Mormonism, and of course, the title of tonight's show, or topic of tonight's show, do apologetics ministry to the Black Hebrew Israelites. And I have gone on the counter, encountered Black Hebrew Israelites on the streets. Now that I'm back in Dallas, I got to go do that again. And so hopefully me and some bros can get out there and, see what new camps maybe they got out in Dallas area.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the topic of tonight's show is going to be interesting.
Can you tell people specifically a little bit about ISUPK, what you know or your interactions with them? I know you know more about some of the other groups, but you know something about ISUPK too.
Yeah, ISUPK is led by General Yohana, if I recall correctly. He's the head of that group, right? The home of the truth camp. I like them because it's like. They claim if you don't agree, even to One West camps, if you don't perfectly line up to their doctrine, you're not even in the truth. So I kind of like that stance in one sense. He's very dogmatic, and so it's like, hey, you either with us or you're against us, even if you're an Israelite. So I think that's kind of humorous in one sense. But they are they claim to be one of the original school of One West.
They have the name.
Yeah,
that because what happened is, of course, it fell and nobody apparently grabbed it in copyright or whatever. So they have one of the iterations of the original name.
Right.
And they claim to have the spirit and the proper leadership. But, of course, the camp that is the proper original group we know as ICGJC.
Right.
So there's kind of a battle between, especially those two, for who, kind of like the right of succession, you know. But but they say they're the home of the truth, and if it's not authorized by General Yohana, it's not of the Lord.
It's not, yeah, not the Lord, which is a wild statement to make. Just, I mean, it's kind of like, man, I try to, make some of these analogies relatable. It's kind of like he's the Pope of One West.
Hmm.
I mean, hey,
In their
I
mind, the
yeah,
others,
yeah,
there's no one agrees, I guess, except for the camp members.
right. And so I haven't really dealt too much with ISUPK. I just um, the thing that kind of makes, I guess, them more memorable to me is they were the camp that actually tried to do a blood sacrifice, correct? Like with the lamb.
Yeah, they do that. They seem proud of it too, I think you could
Yeah.
say.
And so I try to have some kind of memorable thing for each move, or each movement, each camp, and that sticks out to me because it really just kind of really shows they don't really believe in the once for all sacrifice of Christ, and.
And apparently, they don't really believe in the priesthood of Christ. In my view, the way
Yeah.
they and did you know that General Yohana calls himself second only to Christ?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I
Yeah,
do remember
there's
that.
that too. And I guess Tazariak, Captain Tazariak, is probably the most notable member. And I'm going to play some footage of his commentary on this in a bit
He,
here as well.
he has the memorable statement with the kid, right? Like on the street.
Yeah,
Wasn't that him?
yeah, that was him. That
Okay.
was him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good introduction. That's a good rundown. Now let's return to this story here. Now it's very brief. We're actually almost already done with this story as far as that goes. But continue on here with this Breitbart article, and I don't know if they're the only print. I mean, it's online, but in that sense, print that covered it. But were a number of news agencies, like local news and stuff that covered it and got like interviews and video. But we're reading from this to kind of start off because I think this is the first thing that a lot of people saw if they saw this, and this is a good introduction to what's going on here. But one thing I want to bring out that this story shows that if you look, and almost even if you don't look, sort of you're just aware, there is now becoming a story involving, in some related way, something related to Hebrew Israelism almost weekly at this point. You just have to kind of know where to look. And of course, people like us, they send us stuff. And even if your antennas are just up, even if you're just kind of mildly paying attention to the news in general, stuff pops up. And this is a perfect example. And continuing on here, let's just see here. Let's see where we're at. The ADL adds the extremist sect of the Black Hebrew Israelite movement operates as a non-profit in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, and is led by Yohana, also known as John Lightborn. That is his real name, and they put it in there. It's kind of been a known thing. I don't think he's trying to hide it per se or anything like that. But actually, Abu has a recent video that's about the spelling of Yohana because it appears to be incorrect Lashawan Kodash, and there's some interesting questions about that. The group, according to the ADL, sells clothing under the brand UPK Fresh, including a shirt that they owe me money for because I'm the one who gave them the logo or the motto on it. It's the Triumphalism shirt.
Oh yeah.
That phrase comes from they won't even give me a shirt, not even a cut. But y'all, UPK, you owe Vocab Malone 10% of your ties off that Triumphalism shirt. And I've seen a lot of gentlemen rocking it. And I came up with that. And y'all are totally biting off of me. I'm just 100%. You didn't get it from anywhere else. General Yohana didn't come up with that. And you sell the shirt and never even gave me a 2XL. I should be an XL, but that's another story. So continue on. Depicting anti-Semitic images of a slave ship with the caption, True Holocaust. The ADL clearly distinguishes between the BHI as a whole and offshoots, noting that not all Black Hebrews-like organizations are extremists or anti-Semitic. True, not all are extremists, I guess if you define it a certain way. But I've never met any Hebrew Israelites from nice to friendly that their positions are not anti-Semitic.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, but
You know what?
What?
To be an article in a media source, it's actually trying to be very fair to the Hebrew
Yeah.
Israelites. If you notice that,
Yeah, totally. You would think Breitbart, people might think, oh, this is not bad press, to be honest.
it's not. I wonder if there's somebody like that knows about the Hebrew Israelites that's like does things for them that are reaching out to, because it's actually very favorable and not as harsh as it could be.
They got an insider works for Breitbart. You know, a lot of Hebrew Israelites do tend to be conservatives. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
They don't. Most of them say they don't vote, but I feel like if they did vote, I feel like it would be split half and half, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't be the normal breakdown you might expect. D News says it's true. Vocab. LOL. What's true? Or what's true? You didn't. What I missed. What's true? And she says it's probably pleather. Well, I didn't bring up the. I mean, yeah, spikes, leather bandanas. Yeah, I mean that is.
You might be talking about them owing you money.
That is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for you. Shout out to Liza coming on in, and let's see, we got a Jonathan Crocker coming on in, and who else came on in? Forgive me if I miss you. I see you guys, and I got a lot of love for y'all. Be sure to subscribe to Kdub and his work, primarily on YouTube, but I guess they should follow you other spots too.
Facebook.com/all things theology. Got a podcast, and so help me out there.
Right. Yes, definitely do. Thanks for joining Kdub tonight. The group ultimately left the camp Wednesday and entered Mexico through Piedras Negras, Coahuila, 60 miles south of Del Rio, according to a source familiar to Breitbart, Texas. Now, this is crazy because whoever was this it says who it is. So he's a 32-year veteran of the United States Border Patrol. So the guy that is writing for Breitbart, Texas is someone who knows the border issues, it appears. And so it appears he's got somebody like on the other side or something, you know, or 60 miles away, because he knows that they did. And again, this was the first print. You know, I'm using print loosely because it's, you know, on online like that. But the first print source I saw. Now I'm going to show some of these videos too that are very interesting. Hey, you live in Texas. I know you spent some time in different places. I don't know a lot about some of these smaller places. These are small towns because I looked into this. These are smaller areas. Anything you know about the border or be helpful? Because I don't know much about this. I don't know if you do either, but any insight from a Texas dude about any of this border Haitian stuff while I bring up our next thing?
That's one of the things that was very surprising. You know, I lived in Corpus. I just moved from Corpus. That's you know, pretty South Texas.
Right.
And I don't recall ever running into no Haitian dudes. And so it's like largely Hispanic. And so that was the first thing that caught me off guard. I was like, what is Haitians doing down in South Texas? You know, that was very shocking to me. But yeah, it's a heavily, you know, Hispanic, you know, obviously people think of cartel, probably one of the first things they think of. Yeah, that's true. And so, yeah, that was kind of my first initial thoughts.
Well, check this out. I don't know if this next video, Kdub, that I want to show, because I can't download it the same way I could a normal YouTube video because it's not. It's from the news thing directly. But I'm going to play it. I don't think you guys are going to get sound on this, but we're going to watch through it. And there's one part I'm going to stop on real quick here. And this was sent to me by a brother that I'm going to give him his props. A brother, well, hopefully he'd want some. But just give me a second, and I'll play the one part from my phone, but I'll show you the visual because I'm trying to give you context. And guys, just stick with us. You know, this is stuff that's in the news, but also directly relates to theology and apologetics. So you guys are getting informed and hopefully a little bit entertained. So switching over here to this, here is ABC 13 under immigration, and the author Brianna Connor, buses bring Haitian migrants to Houston. We are different than other parts of the U.S. And this is dated September 22nd, 2021, Wednesday at 3:05 a.m. And let's read the story here first. Again, to give you some more context. And a lot of you know this. You guys have been following, but let me make it so you can see it on the screen. You guys should be able to see that. Houston, Texas, KTRK. More Haitian migrants from Del Rio, Texas are spending the night in Houston. They're at a family transfer center where volunteers from a coalition of churches are preparing them for the next part of their journey in America. And I just want to bring that out right there. I'm glad that they included this. And I'm going to say something, and I'm probably going to repeat it, and I think it's important to understand with this story. Notice here that the churches involved have a kind of an organized thing, something not thrown together. Obviously, this is an emergency situation, so they're putting it together like that. but this is a coalition of churches, so multiple churches working together that are helping these folks in Houston. This is similar to what happened during Katrina. I'm not saying I did saintly work or anything like that, but I did do some minor volunteer work here in Phoenix, in the Veterans Coliseum Stadium, where a lot of folks got transferred and actually ended up staying from Louisiana, New Orleans. And I did some minor work there were some government agencies, but the bulk of the work being done was by volunteer nonprofit organization churches. I saw a little bit of activity by the Jehovah's Witnesses while I was there, which I found interesting. But it was primarily Christian-related groups. And in fact, I went to a historically black church down the street from where I lived at the time, Progressive Baptist, for the meeting. And this is something that churches do. Could we do more? Could we do better? Yes, we could do better. But this is regular life for us as Christians. And if you're not involved with stuff like this, then you should be supporting those who are in some way, I believe, right? And I bring that out because Christians don't necessarily always trumpet what they do, right? I understand that if you're, a donor and they're trying to raise money for the organization, they'll say, look what we did, okay, kind of like the news update, and some do more than others, but this is everyday life for us. The UPK does not really have an ongoing system like that. They don't have system and checks that a lot of ministries have. And I'm not saying that there's not any abuse in ministries. Obviously there is. There's a lot more dollars flowing through and a lot more diversity of organizations when you talk about Christian things in America versus Hebrew Israelites. But the UPK seems to be following the lead of IUIC with some of the video we're going to see, where they take these high impact, high visibility moments to get attention for themselves, and they totally brag about themselves in the course of doing this. And it's to me, it's easy to see through, but I know there are going to be Christians who fall for this. Like, well, they really are. And the Christians, they're going to fall for the propaganda that's a negative diss on the church, as if UPK is so great. But I want to encourage you and warn you and still your mind and spirit. Do not be so easily misled. Satan is deceptive. UPK is learning methods and techniques. Farrakhan and NOI have done this kind of thing for years, but long term, who's been there, who's going to be there? And I'm not saying we're so great or perfect, but I'm saying that it's not just about some high impact, high visibility thing for God's people. This is all kinds of God's people regularly doing something versus just these high impact, high visibility moments that IUIC has learned how to capitalize on. And it looks like ISUPK is taking a page out of Nathaniel's playbook by doing the same thing. That's my spiel. I'm going to come back to it. I want you to remember that as we read this, because just that little sentence is important. By the way, read the byline here. Some Haitians are reported to be families who came to escape violence and persecution and were processed as they sought asylum for a better future. The migrants staying there are reportedly families who came to escape violence or persecution. They'll eventually be taken to Bush Intercontinental Airport or the bus station to meet up with their sponsors in other states as they transition in Houston. They're getting a warm welcome. And this is important because there's a lot of people there. Some people were getting turned away. It's a complex thing going on, but not everyone's getting turned away. I just want people to see that as well. ABC 13 was there when 60 to 7 Haitians walked off a charter bus from the border. They were greeted in their own language before receiving help filling out paperwork and getting new clothes, personal hygiene items, and food. Imagine you live in a place not knowing where you're going, and all of a sudden you find people that love you. All of a sudden you find people to give you some help. All of a sudden you find people to tell you that you are going to be okay, said Reverend Tarak Sias. Is a pastor? Noted. I want to point this out. Cyrus said disturbing images from Del Rio forced him to find a way to help. He decided to be a friendly face and provide a sense of familiarity for people in a brand new place. Wilner Lauders decided to take a trip down south to translate conversations between migrants and border security. So these are people volunteering to do stuff like this. I just want to point this out. And how many nameless people are there that aren't going to be mentioned, right? I want to extend myself to others the same way that I had people extend themselves to me. Otherwise, I would not be here today, he told ABC 13. So that he probably is a Haitian. I mean, if he knows language, right? He probably knows Creole. Yeah, he's probably Haitian himself. That seems like what he's saying, right? Both men said they felt compelled by broken hearts for Haitians and the country they came from. And I think most people in America, we should have a heart of compassion regardless, but I think most of us, if you know any Haitian Americans, you really only have good things to say about them. And you think about your neighbors. I think about some of my neighbors, and I think about some of the guys I was in, some of the early Christian hip hop groups I was in. I think about a pastor I served under. I think about Haitian Americans. I have nothing but good things, and I want this situation to be helped. Now, it's complex, but I'm saying I like to see this. This is good. There's good parts to the sad sides of these stories. There's stories that will bring tears to your eyes when you hear a young woman tell you she was in Del Rio for so long under the bridge with no food and children feed. One must ask, how much more can Haitians bear? How much more can the nation of Haiti bear? Asked C.S. These are the questions C.S. said he was asking God to provide answers for. Pray for the Haitians that they will receive better treatment. The Haitians are not receiving good treatment in America. They're being mistreated differently, so we are glad and happy that Houston is showing the world that we are different than other parts of the United States, he said. Volunteers who spoke Creole said the migrants were experiencing a mix of emotions, including fear and gratitude. So, guys in the live chat, let me know if you're going to be able to hear this. I don't think you are, but I'm going to play it with the volume up. I can hear it, of course. It looks like it's not showing up.
Yeah, I can't even hear it.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to turn the volume down, okay, for now. But this is a 4-minute, 46 little video here, right? And you'll get a sense of what's going on. And this is ABC. And again, so this was sent to me. And you can read the subtitles. I don't know how clear they are. They're pretty clear on my screen now. And you can read the subtitles. Mm-hmm. The Hebrew Israelites are about to make a cameo in here. So this is the first I heard about the story, okay? So somebody sent this to me who knows I'm involved with this type of ministry. And I said, and he just was like, LOL, watch this and skip to this time marker. And I was like, how in the world did you find this, right? So I asked him, where did this come from? And he's like, well, I live in the area, and I was just watching the news. So, like, imagine being someone who follows Christian apologetics, and, you're watching, and all of a sudden ISUPK appears on your TV screen on the news in this context. Wouldn't you be shocked?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you first hear about this when I showed you the link, Chris?
No, I had saw it on Facebook or something like that where someone was sharing it. Like I said, I don't even remember the context of someone was sharing it, but I remember seeing the link long before you sent it to me.
Oh, so you already saw it. Someone on Facebook.
Yeah.
Was it like a UPK like propaganda? I mean, what was it? Or was it Apologist? You don't know what it was?
Yeah, I don't even remember the context of it, what it was, but yeah, I don't even remember the context.
Oh, okay. So let's see here. I'm gonna let's see. So there's some of the video to what it is. Let me see.
The Reverend narratives.
Yeah. All right, it's gonna come up here in about a minute and a half. Now, what is your thought, Chris? Do you know much about what do you think of in general the Hebrew Israelites, especially the One West camp, claims about how helpful they are to the community and how helpful they are to everybody? Do you have a kind of a general opinion? Have you heard this kind of stuff before as you've dealt with them?
Yeah, I've especially heard it from like Sakari is big on capitalizing off stuff like this.
Yeah.
Like when a tragic event happens or something, but I see how they especially do it like with women who they think are like kind of dressed kind of, let me use nice language, not as wholesome. Mm-hmm. They'll try to like feed into their ego of you're worth more, but to me it seems like sometimes they just want an extra wife. You know?
No, seriously.
But I've seen like them try to capitalize off a tragedy, but here's the reality. We both know it's disingenuous, because if those people reject, guess what they're going to call them? Oh, mm-hmm. you're a fool, you're an idiot.
That's putting it nicely.
Yeah, I'm being very nice with my language. If these people start rejecting the message, it comes like that. But if they start listening, oh, we care for you, we love you. As soon as they's like, I don't know, well, get out of here, you devil. It's like, mm-hmm. Something of that nature. So it's very disingenuous, because, if they really showed care, it would be like, you know what, we still care for you, but, we think you're lost. It's not that. It's just a full on 180 of what they just said a minute ago, All
right, now I'm blowing this part up because I'm gonna make sure I can hear this. I'm gonna translate to you what's going on. Here's the Hebrews like cameo in all its full glory. It's so funny, bro. It says we were there is this aid group.
Right.
The news literally calls ISUPK an aid group.
Yeah.
I recognize some of these dudes from Houston. This is like one of the strangest pictures you will see in life, okay? Do you understand just how strange this is? Like, what a clash of
like the military, the police of some sort, just like standing toe to toe, like they're about to go off in a dance battle or something. I don't know.
What a strange. You just can't, because like we know the context of these groups, right? Like
Yeah.
So here's 5 ICBK guys, and here's these Border Patrol guys. They got the cameras out, their leather. They got the belts, they got the full regalia on, and it's so weird to me. The news just literally said we were there when this aid group.
Imagine, man, this would kind of be frustrating for the a Christian group. You spend all this time helping,
right?
And then these guys who are literally against everything you stand for and do gets all the credit. Not that you did it for credit, but it's still like, wow. This cult group here just took the credit for what we did.
Yep.
You know what? If they really had integrity, they would come out and say, "Hey, no, that was the Christians who did that, not us."
Well, I'm seeing something interesting here. I'm gonna put this over here. See where we are right now. I'm gonna move us, and I want you to see there. Do you see what's on the gentleman's belt? Can you make that out, Chris? Here, let me give you a hint. He's got a donkey, bro.
Wow.
It's a donkey with its arm up, like flexing.
Really?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you know what he must be, right? Issachar, the donkey.
Gotcha.
So in Genesis 49, Issachar is referred to as a donkey in the
Okay,
KJV.
I can see it now.
Yeah, and ass. And so the brother must be Mexican American. Bro, he's got a donkey inscribed, and I think I wonder if that's why he has fur on.
Hold on.
Because do you see this gentleman has fur on?
Yeah.
That's like I haven't seen a lot of Hebrew Israelites rocking the fur like this. That seems kind of like a new fashion development within One West or something. Maybe they're bringing something back, but like he has like fur with his pleather.
Oh yeah, Issachar, strong donkey. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the donkey, bro, and the donkey's flexing, bro. Like these guys, and so he's saying they were turned away at the border. That's what they're talking to him about, and so he's saying we're gonna go to the other side and provide our resources, is what he says. That's what. So that was the first cameo I saw, and so there you saw 2 ISUPK members after you saw the little clip, the little picture of them at the border, and so he had the Issachar on his belt and the fur, and this next one of these ones I'm going to show you're going to see another guy with some fur. And so again, I don't know if that's a new thing or something. Nate says Issachar trying to trick someone into thinking he's Esau. That's messed up, man. Oh, Nate knows what's up. I bet they gave all credit to their commanding General Yohana, even though he probably wasn't even there. That's exactly what happened. Nate, just because you said that, I'm going to play the next thing before I play the next thing, because since you said that, I've got to play this about that, okay? Now, again, a sad situation. We live in a fallen world. This is the situation is a situation that needs real help, right? We don't deny that. And so now we're going to look at this next thing. This is commentary. All right, this is going to be commentary from Captain Tazariak. Can you tell everyone about Captain Tazariak there real quick, Kdub?
Yeah, Captain Tazariak. What is he? I forget his actual label of He's a leader of ISUPK. Not
No, he's not the leader. He's has
yeah,
leadership
not that,
position.
yeah, leadership position. That's,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean. I forget it.
He hasn't been given a generalship yet.
Okay, he don't have a necessary title.
Captain. He is a captain.
Okay, yeah, that's right, captain. Yeah, captain of ISUPK. Yeah, ruining barbecues for little kids.
Yeah, that is a fact. So notice he's got the One West shirt on, and I want to bring that out because some people are like, what's up with you guys in the saying One West? That's what they talk about, and it says established 1969 because that's when it was said that Abba Bivens and those guys broke away from the commandment keepers. So this is a brief video, but I want to show you his commentary on what happened. Then we're going to play further news clips of ISUPK. They were covered by more organizations, and there was even translation being done into Spanish. So I bet there's organizations over there in Mexico playing ISUPK, which is wild to think about. Let me turn up this volume.
I'm doing this. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? I just want to tell this story real fast. We always tell y'all the white man is the devil, and I know I had mentioned this yesterday in the Car Chronicles, how everybody looked at Joe Biden like he was the one that was.
It's funny, they deny being a hate group, and one of these other videos I'm going to play, but Captain Tazariak starts off his video as we always tell you guys, white man's the devil.
So nonchalant, like we know this.
Tell you this. Yeah. It's funny, they act like it's a deep thing. Like, I think there's a number of organizations have been saying that way before you guys too.
Right.
Like, so I'm screaming. They looked at, I'll leave it with Biden. They looked at Biden like he was the savior because Trump was the bad guy and Biden is a good guy. Well, under Biden's watch, the Asians got the bill passed when y'all told us, when they tried to spoon feed us and say Biden is for black people. And then
he's referring to Stop Asian Hate, the bills that were passed when people were doing things like knocking random Asian senior citizens out in the street and things like that. He's talking about that. He's saying nothing like that happened for us, but notice Biden did that for Asians who they would believe are Moabites and Ammonites, both enemies of Israel. And that's why when these news organizations cover, ISUPK hates white people, I don't know why they don't mention they hate Asians, they hate Arabs, they hate Indians from India, and they hate Africans. Right. To let it all out there,
have this thing that's happening now where the Haitians are right now at the borders of Mexico, can't get in, getting whipped by a white man. Very interesting.
It's funny, it's like that's a deep, now from what I've looked into it seems like that is it seems like that's not true.
The photographer who actually was there came out and said that many people were actually misrepresenting his photo, that's not actually what was happening. And so I know a lot of people ran with that. It was just kind of, interesting to see how people took that picture and made that narrative. Even when the guy who said he was there, he was like, no, that's actually not what happened.
Yeah, I saw that too, where the actual even photographer said no. But, they're going to go with whatever works best for their organization.
Right. And then at the same time in August, when the Afghanistans or Palestinians or whoever they were, when they destroyed that nation over there.
Palestinians. I think he's just talking about the Afghanis. It's like,
what's that got to do with it?
He's saying when Afghanistan refugees come over, that the United States protected them and let them come in. But what about the Haitians? That's what he's saying. And to the Afghanis that the United States was saying come over. I mean, those are people who had been in league in some way with the United States for 20 years, and the U.S. pulls out. Those people are going to be killed by the Taliban unless they're rescued in some way. It's a very serious issue. But those kind of complexities don't matter to these guys.
Brought them over here, set up homes and trailers and stuff like that.
And see, that's not compassion. That's not good. It's only for the groups he considers worthy of that kind of support, because he would view Afghanis and Palestinians as non-Israelites deserving of death or slavery. You got to understand what's going on with this commentary.
But Commander Janihana did.
Imagine being a grown man referring to another man in a non-military situation on a regular basis as your commander.
Right.
As your general.
Where's that in the Bible?
Commanding General Yohana. Like, he can't just be a general He has to be the commanding general. It can't just be Jackson. It's got to be Action Jackson.
Right.
As he's observing this and as he's seeing this, what he put in place was something so epic. And I think
Commanding General Yana put something in place that was so epic. Yo.
You wouldn't believe it if you were there.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe it unless you saw it. Good thing you guys showed up right when the news cameras were there, huh?
everybody listening should share this video. This should get the media attention that it deserves.
And that's what it's all about. ISUPK is interesting because they do very anti-media friendly things, such as slap yarmulkes off of Jews on the street. Yes, I've seen this. Say horrible things about women, as D. New brought up earlier. Like tell little children, teenagers, they can't eat with them in their barbecue because they're African. And, you know, that's what Kdub was mentioning earlier. They dress in a way, seriously, you know, where people be like, huh? You know, and that's not, you know, you can dress how you want, right? It is what it is. But they do a lot of things that are like, but it's strange. And there's also this element of ISUPK that wants to be media friendly. So they granted Vice this interview, but then they took the guy shooting with them, you know, they didn't show them all operating weapons and shooting. So it's like, and then they'll say we're not a hate group, and they'll say we don't promote violence, da 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 da. But then you listen to what they say in their actual classes, and so it's strange. It seems like they want to go the way of IUIC, where they're clearly crafting a positive media image as hard as they can. But it seems like they have these other things that they're stuck with that make it difficult to. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this, with the future of ISUPK, because I think they're two minds and where they're going. I think they're kind of like, hey, IUIC is leaving us in the dust. Let's adopt some of their techniques. But they're still too wedded to old One West that it's difficult to do because Nate is willing to innovate, whereas ISUPK says they're not. So it's a very interesting thing.
Right, it's the same dilemma that Sakari is in as well, because they kind of want to be media friendly, positive in the image, but they go around beating people on the streets.
Yeah, you know, there's always
it's
that.
Not a good, you know,
that
not
tends
a good
to work
look.
against your positive press.
And what he did was so epic. Like, he had Captain Kahuntham Yard down there in Mississippi, worked with Captain Yadazak, worked with brothers like Shapat, Gabawar, Malakwa, all them brothers down there, Tazadak, all them brothers down there was able to get as much food. I mean, as I'm looking at the video, they got truckloads of food and clothing. Truckloads of food and clothing. You see them giving cases of waters. Right, thank you, Tazalai. They getting Airbnbs for the Afghani people. But the Haitians that's coming over here, because
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Airbnb did that. These are people already in the country. And it's strange, like that hospitality is that bad?
Right.
Is that bad? Is that wicked? Is that wrong? I don't know. It's just interesting.
oppression and poverty that they're struggling with, they can't get nothing, they get whipped. Again, Lamentations 4 says, a nation of fierce countenance. I'm sorry. Our eyes have failed looking for a nation to help us that would never save us. We can only save ourselves. And all it takes is effort.
Who saves who now? What do you think? What kind of salvation does he mean? Interesting, right?
Physical.
General Yohana is the savior, then, basically.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If ISUPK is the only group the Lord is dealing with, he's in charge of the organization. Don't forget he's second to Christ.
Yep.
And it's, it's interesting. On one hand, he's complaining, but then he's also saying, well, we can only save ourselves. So it's kind of like, make up your mind,
Right.
To do so. And you're not going to tell me that you can't do it, because as I'm talking to Kahan last night, And I'm asking him, how did y'all get that done? What he says is, he says, when they first drove down to the border, they tell the border patrol where we want to do a humanitarian movement. We want to feed, the Haitians and stuff, give them some clothes and shelter and everything that's down there. And border patrol says, no, we're not going to let you do it. The border patrol would not let them do it. So they worked away and got it on camera that they would not let them do it. So them brothers would not let that stop them. They worked away to get to that border. And as they see him, you don't see the Haitians, you don't see our Haitian brothers just running up to the trucks to just randomly grab the food.
Hold on, this is funny the way he's going to promote ISUPK's forcing of orderly actions upon the Haitians, basically. But I'm going to go ahead and actually turn to the scripture he just referenced. I just want to show you how casually ISUPK eisegetes the scripture. Here we are in Lamentations chapter 4. The verse he was referring to is verse 17. And it reads this, and I'm sure he's referring to the KJV, but you'll understand. Moreover, our eyes failed, looking in vain for help. From our towers we watched for a nation that could not save us. Now, just from that little bit, you kind of get a sense of something, right? From our towers we watch. So if the Israelites are watching from their towers for a nation to save them, what most likely is happening? Siege warfare is happening to them. They're in their towers looking out over the horizon, waiting on someone to come and save them from the situation they're in. This is in the kind of thing they're going. But they're looking for some nation, but this nation can't actually save us. That's just from the verse, but what's the historical context of this when you look up? Because we know Jeremiah wrote Lamentations. We know what's going on then. Well, Nebuchadnezzar is coming down to Jerusalem. The date's about 597 BC. And I got some little notes on this here I'm glancing off of, okay? And he's going to raid Jerusalem. He's getting back at them, basically, for being naughty in the relationship they have, okay? And who was this ally that Judah relied upon? Mistakenly, they're warned against doing this. It's Egypt. Egypt was who they thought was going to save them. And that during that time, that's what's going on. Now, later on, Nebuchadnezzar put Zedekiah on the throne. Is sort of a puppet ruler is what he was supposed to be. But then Zedekiah began having these little clandestine meetings with a coalition of these small little states to try to stand against Nebuchadnezzar. You can read about this in Jeremiah 27:3. And so then in 595 BC, this is really the more exact context as we get closer to this. In 595 BC, a new pharaoh comes as well. So a new pharaoh in Egypt, right? And early on, he had some military success against someone that they commonly fought against, which is the Nubians in the south. And there's a papyrus that reports his success was celebrated with a victory tour all the way to Palestine, right? Now, this made the Judahites think we can expect this kind of support against Babylon because, look, this new pharaoh of Egypt, he had some military success, right? And so we don't know all the other nations that were present when Zedekiah tried to make this little alliance, but we do know Egypt was one of them. But guess what happened when the Egyptian army faced off against the Babylonian army in 588 BC? Now we're getting even closer to the context of this exact verse. They were routed. See Jeremiah 37, 5-7 about that. And so when you look at that, as well as Psalm 137:7, more things about this, such as, and this is where ISUPK will think it means one thing, but it means another. The Edomites, through their support, they actually helped Babylon when it became obvious that Jerusalem was going to fall. So that's one of the reasons Edom is punished, and there's oracles against this, because when this final thing happened, not only did they not get support of Egypt, but Edom, their neighbor to the south, who they're essentially related to from the past, they supported Babylon. My point, by looking at that little cultural kind of background, the little notes there to Lamentations that he just referenced, verse 4:17, is to show you what he is talking about has nothing to do in any way and is clearly a misapplication for what the actual verse is about. And just never let a Hebrew Israelite get away with quoting a verse without looking it up, because 99% of the time it's mistaken in its application, and that was a perfect example. Sorry about that little side trail.
We had Officer Yatazar up here in New York speak to them in the Haitian language, which I believe is Creole. And when you watch the video, you'll see them in single file ranks, like how when Yahushua fed them the fish, That's how that's how Captain Yatazak and those brothers down in Texas, full garment, girded up, camp equipment out there, got them in rank, got them in order, feeding them their food, man. That
Look
is
at
an
that typology.
amazing, phenomenal feat. Shout out to them brothers.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah,
But
you see
Yahweh
the
Shai, by the way, everyone is Jesus. That's what he's saying, but go ahead.
You see the typology he's trying to set up, like in the same way Christ. It's actually because you usually argue from the less to the greater, and so he's like the same way Christ fed the
Yes.
fish.
Yeah.
He's, and then he says, we were in our garb, and almost like Christ was like in some kind of military kind of. But man, that's crazy if you think about what he's actually saying.
Yeah. He's doing typology with Jesus as the type and Yohana as the antitype.
Yeah, exactly.
To everyone listening in biblical studies, type is like the original historical event, and the antitype is considered a fulfillment of it. It doesn't mean against the type. Antitype, it means the fulfillment of the type. So there's multiple ways, for example, that Christ is the antitype of Moses, right? He's a type of Moses, which is a technical term that uses antitype. And so you see that here they're using Jesus as the type and Yohana and ISUPK as the fulfillment. Good call out, bro.
It's so backwards. You sure he's second in command to only Jesus Christ? Sounds like he's first.
Yeah.
Jesus
Are you sure he's? Practically it does become all about Yohana, because it's like, who's on the earth today? In their mind, it's like, well, Yohana's the one, over Israel that's on the earth. So practically speaking, so epic what Yohana did. So epic.
Big up to them brothers, man. They deserve all the credit in the world, and we need to. And like, they call us crazy. Like, they call the Israelites crazy. Power Ranger suits. Don't know.
We don't. Just to be fair, I've never heard anyone call UPK. I've never heard anyone reference them as having Power Ranger suits. I hear that reserved for IUIC. What I do hear in regards to ISUPK garb is a medieval biker gang, like kind of like a medieval or Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome extras, something like that. Just to be fair, but I know what he's trying to say. He's saying, hey, they're calling us crazy, but look what we're doing. And notice who got the credit: Yohana and fellow ISUPK members. Did God get any credit? Did Yahweh get any credit? Did Yahweh Shai get any credit? Not that I.
They talking about convicts, jailhouse tack, whatever it is that you want to call it. But when the next time they say that, you ask them.
Now, I'm not going to give any details to this. I had someone that I don't know, so it's not someone I know or trust per se, send me some stuff about one of the guys in the video that was damning and gets into the kind of stuff that I don't think is important to do in apologetics. And they wanted me to share it. They were trying to get me to share something, and I checked it out and it looked to be true, but that's not what I'm going to do. So but the reason why that's interesting, because someone else who traffics in sordid type of stuff may be like, well, you said convicts. Well, look at this. That's not what I do. You'd be shocked, Kdub, maybe you too, how much dirt I hear about these guys, and they'll take lies or any mistake you make and blow it up. Right. But I don't feel that that's what God has called me to do. And so, he's saying that. But again, our argument with IUPK is not to say, oh, ex-convicts or convict or prison religion or whatever. Those are straw men. It's about the horrible doctrine and behavior. It doesn't matter if you're a convict or that's not irrelevant.
The church got some of those.
Yeah. Some who have been redeemed and some who have not been redeemed, right?
Right.
And we praise God for the ones who have been redeemed, and for the folks, hanging out that have been caught or not caught, whatever, I mean, the Lord will work it out. But these are straw men for what the real issues that we have with ISUPK. I don't sit around and focus on their the clothes and the convict. And you know what I mean? It's a doctrine. I just showed, for example, in Lamentations, how they just take verses out of context. And you're going to see more here.
Who are the ones that's actually on the ground when it matters for black people? It's one thing to talk it. It's another thing to walk it. So I want to do this quick Car Chronicles, not promoting nothing. I just want to big up ISUPK Houston.
I don't want to promote none, except for us. Except for my commanding General Johanna.
And all them brothers down there, down in Texas, man, y'all did a wonderful, beautiful, excellent job. Kwam Yasha Allah. Let's keep it pushing. Shalom, Israel.
What is it, Kdub? It's Kwam Yasharallah when you feed refugees at the border, and it's also Kwam Yasharallah when you jump people.
That's right.
We're going to I'm going to try to look for a schedule later this week. I don't know if you'll be able to join, where some One Westers jump somebody. And the way we knew they were One Westers is because they were all yelling Kwam Yasharallah. This happened out in L.A. And we're waiting on some more information on the story, but I'm going to cover that too. But it's interesting where Kwam Yasharallah is applied. And notice, what do Christians say when something beautiful, good, praise the Lord? Amen. That's saying, like, according to God's will is the way I understand it. What the Lord has done, I agree with, right? Because it means so be it. Praise the Lord. Amen. Hallelujah. God is good. What else right?
Yeah. Glory to him.
Glory to God. That's it. Spanish. Gloria a Dios, right?
Yeah.
This is what Christians say. What do Hebrew Israelites, what do One Westers say?
Yeah.
Kwam Yasharallah. Let us be on top. Let us
rise, Israel.
Let's rise, Israel. It's all about us. Such a humble religion. All right, so comments on that while I line up the next one, Brother Chris.
Yeah, I think the most shocking thing, or not shocking, but blasphemous thing we heard there was just kind of the typology of Christ, the anti-type being presented there of Jesus, kind of picturing them. That's just so wild, when you think about it.
Yeah. Jesus paving the way for General Johanna.
Yeah. Jesus the Baptist.
Basically, man. Well, of course, they don't even believe in baptism. Okay, so there's a lot going on the screen here because I've got my stuff up, plus there's their stuff up, so it is what it is. But, again, look at this positive press by the news. This video is titled Different Things. One of the things that actually ISUPK Arizona titled this video, While You Slept, the ISUPK Fed and Clothed Haiti. Shout out to ISUPK.
Hey, I wonder if that's a reference to, I wonder if that's a reference to Jesus as well. Like, his disciples sleeping, like, I
don't know. Well, here's what's interesting. The news seemed to set it right up for him because the news begins with, while most of us slept. So ISPK is like got the news like saying, hey, why you guys are sleeping. Look at what great work the UPK is doing. Very, very interesting. I mean, I think the news wants to give positive press to these guys these days. So listen to this, everyone. I'm going to turn it up as loud as I can go. I'm going to play a couple of the interview portions, and at the end, I'm just going to put background. But here we go.
Most of us slept last night. A group of Americans were giving out food, water, and clothes to Haitian migrants on the Mexican side of the border. Fox San Antonio's Yami Virgin has the exclusive video, an interview with the group some call controversial, why they say they were forced to go through Mexico after Border Patrol in Del Rio turned them away.
So that's Fox 29.
People in Piedras Negras, just across from Eagle Pass, were a little shocked last night around midnight to see men dressed in these clothes. Black and Hispanic men in a caravan of 12 cars and a rental truck stopped on the other.
Now, this is where I got surprised. Like, okay, I know ISUPK favors SUVs, so I see a SUV pull up, no biggie. Like, I'm not even joking. Every video I've ever seen with ISUPK members, everyone drives an SUV. When I saw the Penske rental truck, I was like, wait a minute. Do they have enough in? You know what I wish they would have brought? Is camp garments. Like they're bringing, like, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got clothes for you. And it's like leather spikes and straps hanging down, like some Haitian holding up, like, I think I can fit this one. But no, I don't think that's
hilarious. Hey, did you hear the intro? It was hilarious about, while we were sleeping, a group of Americans. I wonder how they would think about that, like, just a reference to them.
We're the Israelites, man. We ain't no Americans.
We ain't no Americans.
Side of the border.
So what they have is like a fake news broadcast. So the first thing, and notice, by the way, wait. So what I want to show is First, it's like a clip from the news broadcast, but then they put all their logos and stuff all over it. And again, look, I'm going to point right here. See right here? What's on everything that they do? That's an icon of the commanding General Yohana. That's what that is. And now we look, this is like their news broadcast, right? Like they call it Black Watch or something like that. But look at the verse there. Lamentations 4:17. It's not an accident that that's the same verse that Captain Tarak quoted in his car chronicle. Lamentations 4:17. So this is something they're using that's totally misapplied, but and there it is again in a different color, and there it is again. But again, ISUPK is trying to set their game up. This is like getting lightweight IUICists. Look, electing the wicked.
Under commanding general.
That's kind of a weird way to phrase it, though, right?
Yeah.
ISUPK, like, isn't the person doing the electing like Yahushai under their scheme? But it's strange, electing the wicked under commanding. And you and I are Calvinists. We believe in election, but I don't know if we would like put as a motto like electing the wicked.
This
like
is so
maybe
weird.
we might put electing the chosen or something.
Yeah.
Electing the called. Electing the undeserving.
You know what it sounds like? Almost like, I'm sure they would kind of rebuttal this, but just how it's said on the screen, like the wicked is kind of elected by General Yohana. Like that's what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know, that's really runs on ISUPK. I need you guys to get the most wicked guys you can off the street into our camp. Copy. Mission succeeded.
Right.
This is so weird, bro. Commanding General Yohana. Commanding General Yohana. This is really quiet. I'm gonna turn this up though. I'm gonna turn this up, okay? But it's kind of quiet, guys. But okay, so check this out. This is what they did under While You Slept. The ISUPK fed and clothed Haiti. All of Haiti. Fed and clothed all of Haiti, not just Haitian refugees, everyone. They fed and clothed Haiti. But I do like how they give equal disdain for Republicans and Democrats. That's one thing I do like them. Commanding General Yohana.
O libro, ¿qué libro aparte? ¿Cuál es el
What
libro?
kind of book?
The Bible?
La Reina Valera.
Right, the Holy Bible.
Where you from, buddy?
King James.
Where are you from, buddy? What?
The King James version.
Where
you hear
from?
that?
Yeah. Then you're gonna show this guy. Where are you from, buddy?
He's got to be a
Where you
king.
from?
Austin, Texas.
You're from Austin.
So I don't know if you guys recognize this guy. I debated this guy. This guy said very interesting things to me. He made the cover image of some of my thumbnails when I was dealing with ISUPK Houston. So this gentleman should be somewhat known to my audience. I got his name here. I'm not going to say his name for a few reasons. I might give his One West name here in a second. But, so you guys recognize him? Yeah. D News says, Vocab Malone, that guy you interviewed who was thinking about getting into ISUPK, talked about them renting vans. You remember? Did he really? I don't remember that. Or did he really? Huh. Well, maybe he did.
Originally from Austin.
Austin, Texas, right.
So where you live?
In Austin, Texas.
In Austin? So you came all the way from Austin to what? For what? To how?
I came out
See, what's up with the
flashy, like,
the feather, the fur boa? You know, like,
yeah.
is fur a new thing for Israel? What is going on? I've
never seen that.
Yeah, so like Issachar had it. I wonder if he has donkey fur. I wonder if these guys think, you know, typologically maybe Pinocchio was an Israelite because he got turned into a donkey, you know, in Pinocchio. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, Paul Wahid said Ric Flair.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
this and to help the Haitians, because according to the Bible, the Haitians are the Levites in the Bible. The same way the Mexicans are the Issacharites in the Bible.
Yeah, you know, they're both true. You know? Yes. We're going to talk a little bit about why they say Haitians are Levites here in a second.
We are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. We are really God's chosen people who Christ died for. We are one family, one blood family, saying through blood lineage.
Do you want to translate that for him, please, in Spanish? Mi maestro aquí dice.
I wasn't really paying attention, bro.
Give him the precept.
I got you, man.
Nosotros somos la misma gente. Nosotros somos la misma nación. Son 12 tribus para la nación de Israel. Y hay varios versículos en la Biblia donde dice quién somos nosotros.
¿Saben que esa puede ser quizá la última noche que estén los migrantes aquí? Parece que va a haber una deportación.
He said that there's going to be a big deportation already. This could be the last night that the immigrants.
Okay, well that's sad, right? Tell them that's sad news to hear, right? At the same time, the Lord has made it possible for the priests, the angels that live on earth, that's us, the angels.
What?
Whoa.
This is a new belief to me. The angels that live on earth, us?
Whoa.
Have you heard this before?
No.
So I haven't heard this either. Now, maybe he just means messengers.
Yeah.
But what does he mean? Because they believe in reincarnation. So what exactly is going on when he says, we're the angels who live on earth?
There's going to be a big deportation already. This could be the last night that the immigrants.
Okay, well that's sad, right? Tell them that's sad news to hear, right? At the same time, the Lord has made it possible for the priests, the angels that live on earth, that's us, the angels on earth, to come down to show our brothers and sisters, our Haitian brothers and sisters, that we love them, that we're supposed to gather.
Yeah, maybe he means come down to the border.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, but it's like when you just said angels, it seems like, yeah, well, hold on, what do you mean by that?
Like
bro?
heavenly. That's
What
what
do you mean by that? Is this like it's a Wonderful Life scenario?
Together as one nation. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, Haitians, all of us are one family.
Dice que esto es algo muy triste de oír, pero Dios ha hecho la posibilidad de que nosotros lleguemos aquí y darles el mensaje de la verdad, para que ellos sepan que sí hay gente que los quiere, que sí hay gente que les quiere ayudar.
Amigos, preséntanos a tus amigos. ¿Quiénes son ellos? ¿Cómo son?
Ellos son oficiales.
Háblales, diles que vengan a los demás para que
Slept last night. A group of Americans were giving out food, water, and clothes to
So now they're
Haitian
playing the rest of the context there. So let's check this out.
migrants on the Mexican side of the border. Fox San Antonio's Yami Virgin has the exclusive video, an interview with the group some call controversial. Why they say they were forced to go through Mexico after Border Patrol in Del Rio turned them away.
People in Piedras Negras, just across from Eagle Pass, were a little shocked last night around midnight to see men dressed in these clothes. Black and Hispanic men in a caravan of 12 cars and a rental truck stopped on the other side of the border, continuing their trip to Ciudad Acuña.
We gathered together in San Antonio. We went to local Costco and Sam's and got the stuff that we need as far as the material, as far as the water, the fruit that we gave out, the Pampers, the wipes, and all of the other things, the toiletries. We gathered that together. We bought that today. We went down to Del Rio. When we got there, Border Patrol told us that we could not give the resources to them. They said that we could only give it to a church that we could donate it to. We said we did not want to give it to the church because the people are not at a church, they are under a bridge.
Thousands of Haitians in need of those items are now going back and forth across the river through a deeper side to find those items for their family. The images of the situation in Del Rio moved the controversial group Israelite School of UPK to mobilize their car caravan when they were allegedly turned away in Del Rio and they headed to Eagle Pass.
Came around to the Mexico side. Now we're in Mexico to give our brothers the resources that we have for them.
After an hour-plus trip, the caravan made it to this park in Ciudad Acuña, traveling through an area with a State Department travel warning level 4 for violence on the Mexican side due to the cartels.
Being in a dangerous situation, that's being Black, Hispanic, or Native American. I mean, our lives are dangerous. We live in the most dangerous communities. We live in the most dangerous conditions.
As far as the group is concerned, the treatment by the Biden administration and the Trump administration towards asylum seekers is all the same.
The Bible says that a house divided cannot stand. They said a house divided against itself cannot stand. One thing that America does not understand is the left wing and the right wing are on the same bird. And if one wing decides to stop flapping, the bird dies. And that's what's happening. Because of the hatred they have for each other, they're killing their country.
And as soon as they got there and were able to give away everything they had brought, it was time to pack up, to go across the Mexican side of the border once again, to go home to the U.S. Jamie Virgen, Fox News.
Hey, bro, imagine waking up, because he said they came at midnight and some people were sleeping. Imagine waking up and seeing them like,
ah! It's the angels! All right, so there's actually 16 more minutes of this video, but it seems like the rest is them preaching at the border, is what it looks like is going on here. So I'm going to turn it down, and you guys can get a sense of it. I mean, they literally set up camp.
man.
This is at the border, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to America. Welcome to America. There are some other reports there. Some other news outlets covered it and whatnot. But while this video is playing in the background, I want to go. The phone is extended. So he says, I don't think you can hardly hear it, though. Let me see if you can hear this. Let's see.
We're not criminals. We're not thieves.
Oh, okay.
We love our people, and there's nothing wrong with loving your people. America was built on the love of their people, and there's nothing wrong with us coming together and loving each other. We don't call supremacists because we love each other.
How disingenuous is that?
Exactly.
I mean, cover your ears if you got any kids around. Let me just be frank. Anyone remember the video where I played the guy from Philly talking about how he literally said about 6 different times, different groups he views as Israelites, how their penis was superior. The penis of the Jamaican man is superior. The penis of the Haitian man is superior. I literally have a video on my channel, and on the cover, it's got the little emoji for male genitalia. What is that fruit? The purple... What is it? A zucchini? I forget.
Eggplant?
Yeah, the eggplant. Like I put that on the cover so people, but I didn't, but it says something about the most bizarre ISUPK video you'll ever see or something like that. And he keeps on saying how the penis of such and such is superior. First of all, the thing is 100% suspect. But I mean, they literally is saying it's superior. D Newton knows what I'm talking about. They are supremacist. In fact, when in one of these old magazines, I think it's the SPLC Intelligencer, one of the white supremacist groups that they interviewed while they interviewed ISUPK as well, like in the same issue, the white supremacist guy said they're like the black version of us. Like the white supremacists recognize they're black supremacists. They'll say, well, it's not just black, but like no one is saying because you fed the Haitians at the border this time, that's why you're supremacist.
Right.
It's because you are supremacist. I mean,
can you imagine a white supremacist group saying like, now are y'all gonna call us white supremacists for a hate group because we love our people?
We just love
like it's so like you said, it's so disingenuous.
Always been about love. We just love. We don't hate it.
Hey, they should have that other guy we did that video. White people love. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, the drunk guy. We don't hate anybody. There's some residual leftover racism, but we love everybody. The ambassador, the drunk ambassador for the white race.
So what are we doing that's racist?
I don't know. Maybe when you talk about how excited you are to have white and African slaves, that seems kind of racist to me. You can't wait to get to paradise, and you can't wait till Yahushua comes and destroys your everyone that you hate. That kind of seems racist because it's based upon their background. When Johanna won't let a 14-year-old West African boy into the cookout they're having because he's of African descent. And his family didn't experience transatlantic slave trade. That seems kind of racist. When you make cookout flyers that say only these nations can come in and none of these other nations can come in, that seems kind of racist when you do that.
When you stand on the corner and actually say God is a racist, I mean,
When Cesariak says he's happy when he sees an African homeless man because they deserve that for the position they put the Israelites in when they sold them into slavery, that seems kind of racist. When you're happy to see an African homeless man, you say Tazariak has literally said this, right? That seems. I mean, the list is kind of long of how racist you guys are.
Yeah.
But I mean, why play the game and like deny it? Like, how was that supremacist? What do you mean? You know ISUPK is a supremacist group. What are you talking about, man?
Our brothers, giving them water. We're not criminals. We're not thieves. We're not murderers. We don't sell drugs. We don't do anything that's wrong. That's against the law. But
we don't do anything that's wrong.
Oh, that's a lie.
ISUPK appears the driven snow.
Supremacist. It's kind of funny from a people that kids shoot schools up every day, and
it's kind of funny from.
That's pretty like racist. Like
every
day, white people's
day, an Edomite with a bowl haircut every day goes into a school and kills it, and those same parents are journalists who work for the SPLC while their kids are doing that, and they're gonna call them a supreme. How dare they?
That's hilarious.
It's kind of funny.
Never called terrorists. It's kind of funny for the people.
No one called him a terrorist. See, these guys, their words mean nothing because they're willing to say anything to get what they want. They're not trustworthy people. They do not speak the truth.
That, do all the killing, they're never called terrorists. So,
Yeah, no one ever calls any white groups terrorists. The KKK,
right?
Some of these Christian identity groups. I mean, Waco, Texas happened.
Yeah.
The leader was David Koresh. I know there's somewhat of a diverse group in there, but it was, that was a
Jim Jones.
Like, I mean, they don't call them terrorists. There's no way. What was his name? Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah,
I think he's described as a terrorist, Anyway.
We know about propaganda because, like I said,
we know about propaganda. We're experts at it. Nate says, imagine going to a Christian church and the pastor is preaching how superior the elders' genitals are.
Yeah. It's not the church for me.
It's funny, Dinu said not even Sonetta could get that little boy in because Sonetta is like, come on, man. It's funny you said that, though? Check this out. Sonetta on his Sonetta News played this entire video, and it's on his channel talking about look how great the ISUPK is feeding people. So I mean, Sonetta,
being Black, Hispanic, and Native American, that's the dangerous, name to attach to yourself, and we're up for the task. You know what I mean?
But y'all don't believe all of that.
How people try to demonize us. As you see, we're very mannerable and respectful.
Watch some of my videos with ISUPK. Tell me if they're mannerable and respectable.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And we are very professional, and we're very serious about what we do.
ISUPK is very professional. Like the time G-Man called him the radio show, and the whole time he's talking, they're playing whipping sounds over him when he's speaking. Remember that? Yep. They're playing whipping sounds the whole time G-Man was speaking. Very professional. Very professional there.
We understand that there is an agenda out, and they don't want us to be masculine, serious men. And that's where we are. So we're being demonized for being men. We're being demonized for loving our brothers and our sisters. We're being demonized for doing what's right. And our king was demonized for doing what's right. Everybody say they love Christ and they love Jesus, But Christ was killed because people didn't like the righteousness he was pushing. And that's the same thing with us. They hate us because of the righteousness we push.
Notice that.
They push righteousness.
But one, Christ was actually killed for more than just being a good man. I would argue he was killed because they didn't like him calling himself God, but also as well. But nevertheless, the equivocation of like they are like the embodiment of Jesus' ministry. Like, you know, Christ was killed for righteousness. Guess what? We being persecuted for the same exact thing.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Let me. I know we're on the. Let me just show something real quick. Let's. I know you can't see this, but you can hear it. Check this out. ISPK.
The white man that crimes against God's chosen people. That's right. White man enslaved God's chosen people. Right. The white man murdered God's chosen people. That's right. He must pay for it. That's right.
ISUPK. This is on my channel. It's called ISPK Teaches Slavery for Other Nations. Watch what he says here. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like this. Because party in UPK.
Slavery is coming to America. That's right. And you, black man, you're gonna own slaves. That's right. You, Hispanic man and Native Indian man, you are going to own slaves. That's right. You are gonna make them pick your cotton. That's right. You are gonna make them shine your shoes. That's right. You're gonna make them mop your floor. Right. And you are gonna work them like dogs. That's right. And get to God's people, man.
Very mannerable.
Professional.
Very professional, very respectful, you know, things like that. Hebrew Israelites teach slavery. So
a lot of zeal.
And that's just one. Let's do a quick Tazariak here, real quick. I know it's from my phone, but watch this.
For me to want to put you in your place and make my coffee, as you said. Right. You're going to be happy to make my coffee because you're going to want to live. God wants you in chains, triumphalism, and they shall take them captive. And we're going to take y'all as captives, triumphalism. Your future, you, James White, every Christian, this is not peace. This is warfare because I'm whipping your ass. Right. When Christ comes, he's going to do more killing than every white man has ever done. Right. Triumphalism. This is why I want white people in the kingdom. This is why I want Africans in the kingdom because I'm not picking no grapes.
That's Captain Tazariak.
Wow.
It's Captain Tazariak, you know. It's just one last thing here. Here we go.
And we're going to take y'all as captives. I didn't philosophize triumphalism. Shall possess them. Possess them. That is your future, Mr. White Man. That's triumphalism. Read Proverbs 28 and 1, goddammit. Rakatha Yahweh wa Yahweh shah for allowing Salakia. You're emotional like a female, triumphalism. That wicked bastard called up in here. I didn't listen, man. That bastard called up in here, triumphalism.
That's from my debate with him, by the way. So,
I like how you keep adding that in, the triumphalism.
Well, because he mispronounced it. He says triumphanism. So I thought that was funny. He had to say triumphanism. So there's the professionalism ISUPK, and I don't know why they're getting so persecuted. Right. So sweet and kind.
Talk to me about the scene that you're seeing right now in when you arrive. Who's there behind you? What are you seeing?
To be honest, when we pulled up in this park, it was kind of mixed emotions because it was a beautiful thing to us because we teach that we should come together and unify. And what we saw was Hispanics unifying with the Haitians. And that was a beautiful thing to see how they were working in solidarity together. But to know on the flip side, on the back end of it, that it's not, you know, it's not as good as it looked. To us, it's progress to see how we're coming together and starting to have compassion for each other. And we know that it was nothing but the Lord that made it to where we could come and show our solidarity to where now as Black Hispanics and all of us coming together to show our solidarity with each other. But to talk about the scene out here, it's a horrible scene for anybody, and it's a horrible condition for anybody to live in. And to be perpetuated as being one of the richest countries on the face of the earth, it's no excuse for them to be in this condition at all. It's no excuse. If we, as poor Black men, could come out here and give our brothers and sisters the resources that they need, being that this is the land.
You know, that one guy was driving his SUV and stuff, man. Poor guy. I don't know how he can afford. I don't know how he can afford it. He's probably poor because of all that SUV gas costs, man.
Free. That should go for all people. That's what the Declaration of Independence said. All men are created equal. All men should get.
ISUPK quote the Declaration of Independence now. They don't even believe all men are created equal.
Exactly.
What is this?
He said, yeah, we don't, but y'all do. It's like,
yeah.
That type of love and compassion to receive benefits like that. But we see that that doesn't work when you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American. So, absolutely. Absolutely. And we just saw it. The Lord showed it to us 2 weeks ago. He showed us how they how they left their own military. They left United States citizens in Afghanistan with terrorists terrorizing them, and they brought those Afghanistan people over here and gave them benefits. If the Haitians were not Black, they would get benefits. Right. This just shows you that there's a perpetual hatred for Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. And that's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter how they feel about us. Now it's time for us to come together and love each other. And that's it.
Right.
Let me ask you.
I see General Yohana has taught you well. The force is with you, but you are not a general yet.
We have President Biden. He's putting them on planes and sending them back also. They're saying that they were not prepared, that they did not know.
I reported myself a month ago that 25,000 are coming from Colombia. So there's no way the U.S. government did not know.
Last night told
I think she's like refuting his claim.
Yeah, I think she's, that's what it looks like. They're having a little miniature debate.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. All right. Now let's look here at, go ahead, bro.
I wonder how she got his number, like, to do this phone interview.
Man, Esau has his ways. And those she-Esau's too, those she-Saws.
Yeah.
You know, those she-Saws, they got their ways too. You hear those she-Saws is something else, bro.
Yeah.
Watch out for those she-Saws. And
she-Saws.
All right, so here we are in Genesis 49. Let's flip this around and look at some of the rationale that they give for Haitians being Levites. Look, a commanding General Yohana exclusive. I don't know if you see. Here, let me change the parameters here. Let's see, I'll change the shape so you can probably see it better. Classic wide. Yeah. There. Now you can see a commanding General Yohana. This is a commanding General Yohana exclusive, everyone. Okay, so let's take a look here a little bit. When you go to Genesis 49, here's what you see. Jacob calls his sons together, because we're going to end the video with this little discussion about them, the claim about Haitians are Levites. Jacob calls his sons together, right? He's going to go on to glory. And he says, hey, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the days to come. So assemble together, listen to me. That's verses 1 and 2. He starts with Reuben, and then by Genesis 49:5, he gets to Simeon and Levi. So Simeon are the Dominicans, according to the One Westers, and Levites, of course, are the Haitians. So listen to the kind of, it's a dual characteristic description of them. Here it goes. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Weapons of violence are their swords. Let my soul come not into their counsel. O my glory be not joined to their company. For in their anger they killed men, and in their willfulness they hamstrung oxen. Cursed be their anger, for it is fierce, and their wrath, for it is cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. While I'm reading this, Kdub, do you have a KJV anywhere around you? I was going to ask if you could, not right now, but if you could get to it before I read. I'm going to say something, because I'm going to make sure we get to Genesis 49:5-7 so people can hear it in the King James Version, because that's important to their interpretation.
I'll pull it up.
All right, so what's going on? Jacob is given a pronouncement about Simeon and Levi. And really, it centers on what? It centers on their propensity to violence. So these are the actual brothers, right? This is not, there's not, Simeonites and Levites. I mean, I believe they have some children at this point. But my point is, this is like Simeon and Levi. Oh, look, they shook hands with the white lady. I don't know if you guys saw that there. Sorry, that caught my attention there. So what happened there? Well, if you go back to the situation in Genesis chapter 34, they massacred the men of Shechem because one of them, I believe, I don't think there was more than one involved, humiliated, I'll put it that way, their sister Dinah. So they sought revenge, but they did it really in an ungodly way. So Jacob here is wanting to kind of push away the cruelty, the fierceness, the anger, the wrath that has been associated with them. And what does he indicate here? If you look at verse 7, it seems to say that they're going to be scattered throughout the other tribes. You see that? I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. By the way, this is problematic because Haitians are in Haiti. So it doesn't seem that shouldn't whoever the Levites are in 2021 be scattered amongst all Israelites? If they say, well, Haitians are everywhere, well, any group on the tribe chart, you could say they're everywhere almost, for most of them. In fact, I think some you can make a better argument than Haitians. So it's strange, though. But look at this as you continue on. This gets given the real context here. They're going to be scattered throughout the other tribes. And so that basically dissipates their strength because they're not kind of together in one tribe, right? And so hopefully they'll not bring destruction on Israel because of these characteristics that are a concern, right? So this is fulfilled by the Levites because their inheritance is not a parcel of land. Their inheritance, Levites, is their ministry at the sanctuary. And so what do they get? They get 48 cities, but these 48 cities are all throughout all the tribal areas of Israel. And you can see that in Numbers 18, 23 to 24, and Numbers 35, 1 through 8, and Joshua 21, 1 through 45. So my point by bringing this out is to show you that the verse they try to utilize to say that Haitians are Levites is totally, again, taken out of context and fulfilled in another way, and doesn't make the way they try to utilize it doesn't make sense. And I'm going to show you one key thing they do that is pretty ludicrous, and that's why I had him bring up the KJV. So the Simeonites, they obtained some land within the territory taken by Judah. You can see in Joshua 19, 1 through 9. And so these arrangements that are a fulfillment of this, they prevent either of these tribes from sort of dominating the rest, because that's a concern based upon the characteristics, essentially, of what you might call the founders, I guess we could say, right? And so when you look at Genesis 49, that's important to understand that's a context, because that's the main place they go, because these tribes are dispersed throughout Israel, and I don't see how they can then say, well, Simeon are the Dominicans, and then Haitians, right, are the Levites, because they're not distributed in that way. And they are deprived of clearly identified land in a way that is unique to them. And this is directly related because of the violence at Shechem, right? And so there's essentially a virtual disinheritance. Some scholars use that terminology. And you see, like I mentioned, Simeon, what do they get? They get these villages that are scattered throughout Judah's territory, but Levi has no land at all to claim. Their priestly function is what they have, right? And that's sort of the base for which they're distributed out amongst all the tribal territories. You can read about that in Numbers 35. And so that's really what it's about. But let's look at what Genesis 49 says in the KJV, because I'm going to show you one particular phrase that they use that is absolutely ludicrous. Brother, could you read Genesis 49? I think 5 through 7 it is.
5 through 7. It says, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor. Be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
All right, so that seems clear to me, right? Can you read just the very first line one more time?
It says, Simeon and Levi are brethren.
Okay. Yeah, this line right here. The next line.
Okay, oh, sorry.
No, I asked you to read the first one, but
okay.
It's the next one, my bad.
Yeah. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations.
That's it. Instruments of cruelty. Now, the KJV translates it that way. Mm-hmm. I read from the ESV earlier. It translates it as weapons of violence are their swords, which makes sense because what the description of what they did in Shechem and the characteristics, it makes sense to say weapons of violence are their swords. That's the ESV. Let me see here how the NIV translates it, perhaps. You got any other translations? Because that instruments of cruelty phrase is what I'm most interested in, because that's actually key to their misinterpretation. Here, the NIV, their swords are weapons of violence. Their swords are weapons of violence. That's how they do it. And by the way, I've always thought this this One West misunderstanding of Haitians as Levites, if they're going to do Simeon and Levi, I always thought it made much more sense for them to do. Well, never mind. I see what they're trying to do there. I won't talk about that right now. But here's the NET, the New English Translation. 49 says weapons of violence are their knives. So that's a different translation. You got any other there for the weapons of cruelty or anything like that?
Yeah, NSB, the swords are implements of violence.
Okay.
CSB, their knives are vicious weapons.
So notice that these are all saying the same thing in a different way, it appears, right? Mm-hmm. KJV is a little more vague. What is it? Instruments of cruelty, right?
Right.
A little more vague. But it seems like even if that's all you saw was instruments of cruelty, it seems like you could have some sense of what that was, I think. When you think about what an instrument of cruelty is, right? Especially if you read the context, and especially if you know the Old Testament background. There's no way you're going to be able to guess this, Kdub. So this is not something you're supposed to get. What do you guess One West says the instruments of cruelty are or is in regards to the Haitians that prove this verse refers to them?
What they would say is the instrument of cruelty?
Yeah. Any guesses? Just if you
let me think. The most racist probably thing. I don't know. I have no clue.
Voodoo.
Okay, that's understandable, but yeah.
So voodoo. And ISUPK doesn't have the breakdown in the same way that IUIC does. So we do have to go to the IUIC website right now. Okay, we're going to flip this around here, but here we are. We're going to go to their website, but I am going to show you something from. Okay, I'm going to show you something from the ISUPK website as well. But we need to make this kind of big because they have essentially the same interpretation on this. Okay, so let's take a look here. This is from their little breakdown, israelite.org. All right. And it says Haiti and scattered regions. Levi means joined to me. So just you see the beginning there. And so the present name, it's saying, right, the present name of the Haitians or is it Levites? Okay, so that's what they say. But now let's look at the reason why. The reason why. And if you thought I was kidding about the voodoo thing, you're going to find out I was not kidding. In the 1600s, the tribe of Levi, Haitians, along with Judah and Benjamin, were sold into captivity by the Africans and Arabs to the white hyphen man. The white non-hyphenated man. I'm just reading from the website. It's got a hyphen and then right after it doesn't. Then transported them in chains on slave ships to Haiti to serve hard bondage as slaves. All right. Genesis 49:1. So notice again, I'm not wrong here. I'm showing you the verse that they utilize. Genesis 49:1. Now they go to Genesis 49:5. Notice that. Okay, this is from IUIC's website. Simeon and Levi, brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. So let's read this together. Simeon and Levi are brethren. All Jacob's sons are brothers. The reason he specifies Simeon and Levi are brethren is because in the last days they would dwell together in one place, the island of Hispaniola. So, one side is Haiti, the other side is Dominican Republic. That's why Aria, who made this up, or Abba Bivens, we're not really entirely sure, did it in this way. Instruments of cruelty on their habitations, meaning they are heavily involved in the use of witchcraft and the worship of Satan. Remember you said it was going to be racist?
Yeah, I knew that, but I just didn't know what level.
You know those Haitians who worship the devil? Yep. Right. In the past, Levi was renowned for dealing with spiritual forces of the Heavenly Father. That's the priesthood. Oh, okay, they're talking about that. However, the scripture testifies of cruelty, meaning spiritual forces of Satan, witchcraft. Their habitations are Haiti and Dominican Republic. That's not an argument. That's just restating it. Because it's saying voodoo is in there where they live. In Haiti, their instruments of cruelty is called voodoo. And then the Dominican Republic, the instrument of cruelty is called brujeria. Brujeria. I forgot. I'm not pronouncing it right. So there you go. Thoughts on this? It's just unbelievable. This is how they prove Haiti are Levites, because they practice voodoo. They would have to prove that instruments of cruelty ever means voodoo, or forget about it. You could say, well, voodoo wasn't. Forget about means witchcraft in the Bible ever.
Right.
It could be anything by this, and that's really what they got.
Yeah. It's importing that into the text rather than exegesis, drawing it out of the text. You can do this with anything then,
Let's go down a little bit. I want to show you something incredibly fascinating from the UPK breakdown here. Watch this. Look, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they digged down a well. The man they slew was Shechem, an African prince.
Wow. Wow.
Shechem and the African prince from Genesis 34. Their self-will was their furious determination against Jacob's wishes, and the wall they digged down was it the agreement of Jacob made with Hamor, king of the Hivites. This history is recorded in Genesis 34 chapter. Here's a brief synopsis.
I like that part.
Jacob's daughter Dinah was raped by an African prince named Shechem. Now notice here, these dudes want to pin stuff on Africans.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Where does the text ever say? This is not what the text doesn't say he was an African prince.
Right.
But you see, they want to put this on Africans. So, the Haitians worship the devil, and Africans raped Israelites in the past. Named Shechem. His father named Hamor asked if Shechem and Dinah could marry. For once with two people, trade sons of matrimony, deceitfully the Hivites and people Shechem need to be circumcised. Marriage took place, agreed, third day. Swords got swords, slaughtered them. History correlates with the story. Wait, the history correlates with another historical event that took place in Hispaniola? Wait, what?
Wow, you got a dual prophetic event?
What in the world? Oh, I have this book, Black Indians by Cats. I have this book. Oh, what they're trying to say is they did it again. They're trying to say, look in Haitian history, they did a similar kind of tactic against Europeans. That's what it's trying to say. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. This goes on and on and on. It goes on there. But, one thing I like or respect about IUIC is they'll put their stuff out there. But I did go to the ISUPK website, nonetheless, okay? I did go there because I did want to see, now, what do they have about this, right? And so let me show you here. Let's go. Let me see here. Where did it go? I brought up the ISUPK website, and I want to show you guys what UPK has in regards to Haiti, okay? Because they don't have all that detail like that, but they do have they do have a little drawing, okay? Let me just go. Here's the ISPK website, bringing it up. Let's click on this. By the way, notice. Well, I'm not gonna. All right, here we go. Notice the very first thing when you go to the ISPK website. Watch what pops up. Pay your donations here.
Just in case you didn't see the link, other link.
Yeah, you have to X out of it to get rid of it. You know, we think you're like, and
hey, this is worse than the Word of Faith pimps.
No, seriously, I did a video where I made their heads like Joel Osteen because of that. Because that's exactly right. So there's Tazariak, very professional radio host, as you saw earlier. So let's go down a little bit here, and here's a cookout that you guys are not invited to. Let's just look real quick. I know we're getting a little bit of sidetracked, but let's see if it's got the fact about who can come and who can't. They just have the flyer, so it doesn't really say. Okay, but a lot of the flyers that will be like, here's who's invited.
Hey, that'd be funny if like some random white people came. They're like, hey, free cookout. You didn't say who couldn't come.
Oh, Texas. Can you do a Texas redneck accent?
Nah.
You can't? Okay, let's see. Commanding General Yohana will be going to view the land that was purchased by ISUPK Dallas in East Texas.
I got to go to that.
Oh, look, they're also going to the Thunder Gun Range.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Sling.
It's so weird they promote that part of their religion, like the gun, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Slingshot rentals will be available for pickup.
Slingshot.
$500 for the weekend. I don't know what this is. A slingshot rentals. Okay.
David and Goliath.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Only the Judahites are allowed to use the slingshots. Oh, every time I go, I have to click this off. So here's Commanding General Yohana, right? Is the head of the ISPK and the nation of Israel. And in case, again, you thought I was lying, look what it says, everyone, right here. Second only to Christ. It says it right here. Come and learn the truth from the man, the Most High, and Christ has ordained to gather and rebuild the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So General Yohana has been ordained by Jesus Christ to lead the nation of Israel. The characteristics of the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's click here now. I want to know what the characteristics. Well, there's Levi. Let's click on Levi. I've already done this, by the way, in case everyone's wondering. Not exactly high res. Well, you got the art where they're calling down fire and destroying things, we'll just say. And it says Levi, joined to him, Haitian stone, carbuncle, standard, dice. Captivity, Haiti. Inheritance, this is the strangest part, Kdub. Sacrifices of the Most High power of Israel made by fire. So I don't know if you notice, they are saying Haitians have a specific superpower in the afterlife, which is to call down fire. And that's why this dude is like doing that.
That's what I was thinking it was referencing.
Yeah, and I know you can't
what Marvel character has that?
Yeah, I'd wonder who it is. And notice he's got the fringes on, but he's destroying white soldiers, in case you can't tell from the picture. He's burning them up with fire coming. It's literally coming down from heaven. Wow. So that's it. In case you guys ever wondered why is this is not related directly to ISPK, but why is Guerrilla Hebrew called Alazar ban Loya? It's because Loya is in Lashawan Quadash, the way you say Levi. So he's saying Alazar, son of, even though it's not Ban, it should be Ben, but it's in Lashawan Quadash, of course. Alazar, son of Levi. That's why his name is Alazar ban Loya. So, for example, but let's look at the rest of these. Now I'm really curious. Man, it looks like Judah is part of IUIC, right?
They look light-skinned, though.
Here's Benjamin. He's stuck there, an Asian ruler there. And they got the wolf there. Benjamin's associated with the wolf. And he looks like a Jamaican, of course. You got Loya. We already discussed him. I need to download all these little cards. The Dominicans, they're burning up white people here. Here's a white guy with literally blood coming out of his face. They got a blondie here who's beheaded.
Wow.
And the dude's got a bloody axe. I don't know why these guys are called a hate group. I cannot figure it out. It's so weird. All they do is love their people and feed refugees. And yet someone has the gall to call them a hate group. You know, what if the news saw these pictures? I'd like the news to explore their website. Look who he's stabbing, Kdub. You literally, bro, you literally have a light-skinned dude, because Zebulon are supposed to be the Mayans from Guatemala to Panama. A light-skinned dude looks like a white man stabbing an African. Like what, bro? Like, how is this? Like, what? How is this cool, bro?
Yeah.
Like, bro, this. Oh my goodness! Check this out. He's literally carrying around someone's head here.
Whoa.
That's a Puerto Rican guy. He's got someone's head there with this bloody sword. And another beheaded. Love carrying. Oh boy, these are Cubans, by the way. Here you got everybody's carrying around heads. Of course, they think the Gadites are Native Americans. Now, I know we're going off, but I'm just showing you why it makes sense to call them a hate group, everybody. And Kdub, I don't think he's been blessed in his life to see this beautiful art before. I know you've seen art like it. Here's Ruben. Notice the UFO in the sky. And you can't see it, but there's a bunch of white body parts left in the swamp.
They got a snake.
Yeah.
Too, on that tree. That's kind of funny.
Because it's in Florida, like in the swamps. And there's a dude behind him who's like that guy from Super Friends. That there's a Native American in Super Friends who turns giant. He's like, looks like that dude. There you got more beheaded white body parts dismembered with UFOs in the background, a bloody sword. If you have UFOs, why do you need swords? You know? This dude has outdone everybody. Asher, that's a lot of dead bodies, man. This is something straight out of a late 1980s, like one of those medieval video games. You know, that's like the cover art for one of those.
All right.
And there's Issachar on the donkey. I kind of feel sorry for Issachar. He's like riding a donkey.
It's like, where's the killing? Where's the killing that he do?
all he gets is some UFOs in the background. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's what you gave Issachar?
Hey, I don't know if you noticed this. The only one that got, everybody else gets land, but Levi gets like land and superpowers. Like from that description.
Well, I didn't read. Hold on, let's read Simeon's.
I was like,
Northern Kingdom and their inheritance with their inheritance. Oh yeah.
Like go through all of them. Everybody else gets land.
Oh yeah, the inheritances for everybody else is their actual land.
But Levi is the only one with superpowers.
Well, that's an oversight, because they think everyone has superpowers, but why is that the only one with the description? That's bizarre. Yeah. It's weird. The rest of these are like literal, actual places of land inheritance. I didn't notice that.
I was looking at that. I was waiting to see if that was going to be the case, and I was going through and it's like, yeah.
Wow, you're right, huh? Well, that's strange.
Yeah, everybody does not have superpowers.
Someone download all these for me and send me as high res as you can get. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, I think we've talked enough about the Levi-Haitian connection, and so that's why they're, doing the food, da-da-da-da. You guys, I think you guys see. Oops, I got to switch this back. All right, so what we went over today is we showed you some video, we showed you some articles, we talked a little about the theology behind it, but Hebrew Israelites are in the news, and it is an interesting thing, and they remind me of Jesus' criticism of the Pharisees. I'm going to bring that verse up while Kdub gives his parting final words.
Yeah, it's often that cults try to one, piggyback off the work of Christians, as we saw in the first little section that we did. But man, it's just interesting how the evolution of One West groups have trying to kind of keep up with the modern day age. I think that's very interesting, and I think we'll see more attempts of it. We'll see how well it works, but I think we'll see more attempts of it as well.
Yeah. Kdub, could you tell the ladies and gentlemen how to find you? And thanks again for coming on, bro. Sorry I was a little bit late. Let people know how to find you, my friend.
Absolutely. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at /KDUBTRU.
Yes, indeed. Matthew chapter 6, starting in verse 1, says, "Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets and at the borders." I added that in there, just in case everyone's wondering, that they may be praised by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, even if it has studs and spikes on it. I added that too. So that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. The behavior of the hypocrites has not changed from Jesus' day to ours. And with that, join us next time where we seek to make apologetics fun again on Street Apologist Live.
Whoa. Radio time. Whoa. You're now listening to Street Apologist. Street Apologist. Street Apologist. Street Apologist. Street Apologist. Street Apologist. Street Apologist.